Today we're here at Veterans Memorial Park, and joining us today we have Rex Rolfing, a city councilor here in Sioux Falls. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
And we're just going to talk a little bit about Veterans Memorial Park and what it means to you, Rex. And we're going to talk about the beautiful statue behind us.
Yes.
And so let's start with this wonderful park and what it means to our community and to you.
You know, this is a jewel in our park system that most people probably don't know about because they've not come down here. They don't have anybody in the service or that kind of thing. But it is something that every one of our school children should be brought down here. That should be a trip that they take, is to come to Veterans Memorial Park and read a little bit, have the teachers read some of the Medals of Honor stories that are there and some of the things around here that are here, because it is so meaningful, not only for the soldiers, for the sailors, for the Marines, and etc., but just for the people, for us to know that these are the people that have made America what it is. We're not free easily. Mm-hmm. It takes sacrifice and effort, and most of the generation alive right now does not realize that, and they need to.
I love that idea, because I know that we run into, people coming over and it's a park, and so they think it's a park to maybe play ball in or things like that, but really this park is about coming here, honoring those who have served for our country,
right?
Who are currently serving for our country, and really having that meditation and just coming and honoring.
That's exactly right.
And with that, there's a lot to look at here. And so if you come, maybe you can speak to some of the things that you like to walk around and look at when you're here, and we'll get to the statue here in a moment.
Okay. Well, one of the things that is really, a couple things that really get me as we come in, if you will, is the entrance and all the other things that bring you into the park so nicely and really present the park in a great way. And then, as I mentioned, the Medal of Honor area is so meaningful, because the stories are told on a plaque. These guys made sacrifices that you and I will never have to do, hopefully, because of what they've done. And that needs, like I said, that needs to be taught to our children.
Absolutely.
It needs to be taught to them. And the great job that the park department has done in conjunction with, I know, some architects and different people, of putting this together with the quartzite and with all the other trees and things that are here, using some of the ones that were there. And it'll be really neat when we get the museum type thing put in there too, the building, so that we can the kids and everybody else can take a look at some other things that we have ready to show them, but just not in. They have to be in indoors.
Right. And now, Rex, this park has a special meaning to you as well.
Right.
And we've referred to the statue that's behind us.
Yes.
Can you speak to how the statue came to be here and what that means to you?
As many people know in the community, our son Rob was killed in Iraq in 2007, June 30th. And that night, our other kids, TJ and Tiffany, were having dinner with us downtown, and we decided to go on a walk, the sculpture walk. Walked up north on Phillips on the west side and back on the east side, because it was our 35th wedding anniversary. We're walking, and the smaller statue of this, called Going Home, was in front of the First National Bank, and all of us kind of looked at it, and I mentioned, hey, did you all see that? And we all went, yeah. We didn't want to spend much time at it, obviously, because we knew where Rob was. And next morning, of course, we get the knock on the door and find out that Rob had been killed. Well, when we put two and two together and started adding it up, it was precisely at the time that we walked by that statue that Rob was killed. The good Lord was, in my mind, just telling me, hey, I got him. Don't worry about it. I got him. He's safe. And so then we asked the mayor at that time, and he said we could have it at the funeral. So the statue was moved to the arena for the funeral. And the neat thing about that is that when people were coming in, it was facing them as they came in, and then they turned it around so that when people left the arena after the service, they looked at it again, and it was so cool. Well, Margie and I decided at that point that we wanted to buy that statue from Sandra Johnson and have it and give it to the city for this park. Well, Mayor Munson and us and Margie and I sat down with him, and he says, you know, it really doesn't fit out here. It's a little too small because it literally is that big.
Right. Yep.
And we said, yeah, you know, you're right. Well, why don't we just try to raise some funds and to get Sandra to make a large statue. And that way it'll be kind of a centerpiece kind of thing, because it was the first real statue that was out here. And the Veterans Memorial Park Board wanted to make sure that they had a statement, number one. Number two, that it set the norm for the statues that were going to be out here, the size and the quality and that kind of thing. Well, within about 3 months, we raised $160,000.
Wow.
And all I did was ask. You know, we didn't have to beg or anything like that. It was just, and people came forward. And through the Sioux Falls Area Community Foundation, we put all the money together, and then we went to the park board, and they said, the statue itself was about $100,000, and the rest of this was about $60,000. And one of the people sitting on the park board is kind of is an artist, and we started talking about where to put it. And we were talking more maybe in the middle and all this, and he said, no. Speaking to your idea of it being a quiet spot and things, this is meant to grow up these trees and kind of form a little semi-chapel, if you will, a meditation area right around here, and then the walk will come around on the north side of it there and go into the building, the museum that's there. And so we commissioned Sandra to go ahead and do that, and the 11th of November on Veterans Day, the next year in 2008, the statue was done and brought here and was placed there, and we had a large opening ceremony. I don't know if you remember it. We were thinking maybe 50 or 100 people. I think 300 and some people set up right here, and we had a day just like today.
Perfect.
It was 70 degrees or that kind of thing, and in November 11th, you know, it could have been snowing real easy. We had contingencies to put it inside if we needed to, but it was, the good Lord was shining on us, and the sun shone down, and it was a marvelous, marvelous day. And so that is the whole story. It's a statue of a angel taking a fallen soldier home to heaven, and from the standpoint of the clouds in the bottom and the American flag is the base to bring him home.
Well, it is a beautiful tribute, and it's a beautiful statue. And I think it really, if people do come out to the park, I think it really epitomizes for people what sacrifice a lot of individuals give for their country and for us and our freedom. And so we just appreciate your efforts to honor your son and to honor a lot of different soldiers and military personnel that serve our country. And so I appreciate you sharing your personal story and being a part of this venture with Veterans Park as we've moved from where we were to where we're going to go in the future.
Yes.
And so if you've not been out to Veterans Park, you do need to come out. You do need to see the statue that's here and all the other statues and the memorials. In addition, people can buy their plaques and honor loved ones with those plaques, and it will say what branch of the military they were in, when they served, which is a nice tribute also to those who have served or are serving as well.
Correct.
And so thank you for being here today and for sharing your story. And hopefully it might jumpstart others to want to do some statues in the park system or throughout the city and understand how that process works for getting fundraising and getting that process started.
Okay, let me add two things.
Yes, absolutely.
First one is, this statue is not just for Rob, my son. It's for all of the fallen soldiers in this area. From way back when to the current places that we are serving now. And so please treat it as your own, because that's what it is for every fallen soldier. And then with the plans that we've got here, come out to this park, to Veterans Memorial Park, and make it yours, because I know you'll enjoy it, and make it part of your showcase when your friends come to Sioux Falls. This is one of the things that you'll want to show them. So.
Absolutely, it's a one of a kind. Not a lot of communities can say that they have a park of this nature. And so, it is a definite must for those who live in Sioux Falls and those who are coming to Sioux Falls to stop out here and really take a look.
Yes.
So, thank you.
Thank you very much.